Hey, Greg and Katie, this is Bill Quain. Coming off that fantastic conversation we had on Teams. When we disconnected, my wife said to me, "You found your people." That's how I felt. I felt like our missions were so well aligned. Now, I promised to do a audio recording over the slideshow I sent you. So here we go. So the reason I contacted you in the first place was because of two things. One, the podcast you did with Joe Saluzio at your conference back in February, which I listened to and I saved in a special place because I listened to it several times since then. And also that report about the modern learner. And the thing that really caught my attention was the modern learner wants education to be more than just a one-time experience. And that really hit me. And that's when I thought to myself, wow, I think we have some things we can do together. All right, so colleges have five big problems. Number one, colleges are used car lots. Number two, colleges sell solutions to their problems, not to the students' problems. Number three, colleges have the wrong picture on the box. Number four, colleges think the only problem with their marketing is that they haven't been heard. And number five, colleges are afraid of the real world. Now, colleges are used car lots. This is pretty interesting. Colleges can only sell the programs and courses that they already have on the lot. So they're marketing whatever they've got, and what they have is based upon the professors that they have who are there and have been doing those courses for years. So, for example, if you were to go to a used car lot and you wanted to buy something and they didn't have it on the lot, that model on the lot, they would try to sell you whatever they did have. Well, the same thing happens at colleges. If you have a French course on the lot, but a student wants to take Italian, then you're not going to send them to another college and say, "Oh, go there for Italian." You're going to try to sell them on how bon French is. Now, colleges are businesses. And so as businesses, they're trying to sell the solutions to their problems, not to the students' problems. Here's a great thought. Every college that's in business today has just one goal: to be the be the college that is still in business the next day and the future. So they're selling stuff to students. They're raising money because they want to stay open. I love this one. Number three, colleges have the wrong picture on the box. So we've got a couple of good pictures here. One of them is of an ATM machine. That's how they see their students while they're there. And of course, that ATM machine is always being refilled through student loans and money from parents and that sort of thing. And then they see their alumni as slot machines. And by the way, on this slot machine here, you'll notice that there's no place to put money in. That's because colleges just keep sending emails out, which cost them nothing, and pulling on that handle and hoping for a jackpot. Now, let me explain a little bit about the picture on the box. If you're trying to put together a puzzle, you need the picture on the box. Otherwise, you don't know what those pieces mean. You can't put them together. Well, colleges, they have a picture on the box, and so the picture they put together, the puzzle pieces they come up with, are the puzzle pieces that are going to do the same thing for them that they've been doing for years, bring in tuition money, etc. So in order to really change things and change this perspective, in order to help students really achieve their full potential, and by the way, help colleges achieve their full potential in this new era, we need to reconstruct the picture. So I was explaining to you that we hired an artist and told him what we thought the picture should be. And he came up with this great image for us. And this is somebody sitting on an airplane, because you've all heard on the plane before, if the oxygen masks fall from the ceiling, put your own mask on first and then help others. And this is what we think the picture on the box should be for how colleges are preparing college students. They should be preparing someone who can enter the real world and is ready for whatever comes their way, so that they can keep themselves going before they start helping others. And it's just not done that way now in college. And by the way, Greg and Katie, as you know, I'm blind, and isn't it ironic that the blind guy insisted that we have an image? You know, people might disagree that they want another image. That's fine, but let's get an image that really works for the students and the alumni. So number 4, colleges are sure that the only reason their marketing isn't working is because the prospective students, their parents, aren't hearing the message. Well, the problem is they actually are hearing the message, and that's why colleges are having trouble filling seats at the right price. Every faculty meeting that I've been in, and I've been a faculty member for a long, long time, we're always talking about how we're just not getting our story out. Oh, we need to get our story out, because if they just heard how good we are, then all of a sudden things would change. Well, that's a real problem. And it's a real problem for the students. It's a real problem for their parents. It's a real problem for society. And it's turning out to be actually a real problem for colleges now too. And I think they're starting to recognize that. So number 5, colleges are afraid of the real world. Now, at most colleges, the top administration is not afraid of the real world. The people who are really afraid of the real world are the faculty. They just see themselves as being disconnected from it, which they are, and they see the real world as being something that they're not quite as happy about as they are in their cocoon they're in colleges. The problem is the real world is where the students and their parents live. It's where the graduates are going to live. It's where the alumni live, and all the people who are going to hire these new graduates live in the real world. And that real world is starting to ask itself, is college worth it? And as we know, the answer they're coming up with is, well, maybe not. And that's one of the challenges I know your company has is getting colleges, particularly the faculty, to say, hey, listen, we need to change because the world has changed. Now, my good friend, Dr. Joe Karabi, and I co-founded a new organization called the Professors Who Pay You Back. And we have been around the block a few times, and we're really disturbed by what's happening, by the loss of value that colleges are giving to their students and their alumni at a time when that connection to a college, that connection to a continuous learning experience is so important. Now, the AI we're talking about, by the way, here is alumni intelligence and advisor intelligence. And we think these are two groups that have really been misused, and that colleges, if they open their eyes to this a little bit, could really make some changes. But on the big thing for college presidents here who are struggling with their faculty not being willing to make changes is these changes can be made extracurricular. In other words, these can be made outside the curriculum and therefore outside the control of the faculty. All right, the first AI I want to talk about is advisor intelligence. Now, so many colleges, so many programs within colleges have advisory boards and just underutilized. The advisory board meetings I go to for our program, they're held once a year, and we make it a show and tell thing there. We tell them about all the things we've done and this and that. And we may ask them at the very end, to share a little bit with us, but we're not really listening at that point. I feel bad about it. So it's underutilized, undervalued. I sent you the alumni, or excuse me, the advisor intelligence playbook, because we at a meeting, I only got 15 minutes to do it, and people went crazy. So you can share that with your folks there. It really worked. I mean, our advisors were so excited about it because we showed them how to write a playbook, and all playbooks are situational, and the situations we give them for how do advisors help colleges teach their students the things that they need to know. We talk about growing value in those students, and there's three situational processes in growing value. It's to grow your value, show your value, grow your value as you're in college, become more valuable, learn things, network, etc. Do simulations, do internships. That all grows value, and then learn how to show your value, that's how you get a job. And you have to show your employer and other people what value you have that you can bring to them. And then finally bestow your value. This is when you're really rocking and rolling, because this is when you have so much value to people that it spills over. And imagine a situation where we can show colleges how to use their advisory boards and that advisory intelligence to actually teach students to show, grow, and bestow their value. Big game changer. Big, big. Now, what about alumni intelligence? Well, as already discussed, colleges think alumni are just slot machines. But look, when the students are walking across the stage at graduation, they think they hear the faculty clapping, but what it really is just the faculty wiping their hands of the students, because they're entering the real world, and the faculty don't understand the real world, and they're afraid of it. So they just turn their attention to the next class of people. But now you got these alumni, and colleges have thousands of alumni out there. And as we know, they still consider themselves to be modern learners because they're living in modern times, and they want that continued experience. So we can show colleges how to utilize their alumni both to help their current students, but also, instead of sending them constant streams of emails asking for donations, what about if the college sent some emails saying, hey, how you doing? Can we help you? Let's reunite you with us so that you can learn and change and grow as well. This is a fantastic asset, the alumni, and who are really anxious to be reconnected with the college in a more meaningful way than just being asked for money. So here's the question: how can we help? What can we do to help further your mission? Because we know it's the same mission as ours.